Hi folks, my name is Linda Emmett and welcome to Happiness is an Inside Job. We are the creators of our own reality, we create our own lives. Our mind is our biggest limit and it's our own beliefs, behaviours and habits constantly caught in those cycles that keep us trapped where we are and stand in the way of our own happiness. So throughout this podcast, we're going to take a deep dive into some of those beliefs, habits and patterns, where they show up in your lives and what you can do to change them. Hi folks, on this week's podcast we're going to talk about desire. I'm really excited to talk about this, a whisper of desire. So what we're going to look at is what desire is and the role it plays in our lives. So I'm a big fan of desire, if I'm honest. And desire it's an emotion of longing or yearning or a deep hoping for, an object, a person, an outcome that's especially strong. But the thing we don't often recognise or understand about desire is desire motivates us very, very strongly. We are born out of desire and we create through desire. It's our desire to create that drives us. It's our desire for things that motivates us, drives us forward, keeps us moving forward, for be it success, love, happiness, money, weight loss, whatever it is, it's desire that drives that. Desire plays a huge role in us achieving our goals. It ignites a deep passion in us that moves us forward. But unfortunately, desire, especially for women, can carry a huge weight of shame. Desire, we're very much conditioned to believe is bad. That we can connect desire directly with sexual desire. And that's all we can view it as, because that comes from our conditioning and our training. And desire is not good. Women aren't supposed to desire. Desire makes us promiscuous. All of these things, all this social conditioning on how we grew up. And the fact that we're boxing off desire to be one thing, we're connecting it to a sexual desire. And, we can view ourselves as being bad, dirty, or bold because we shouldn't feel desire. And again, that comes from a very young age, but it causes us to turn the volume down on desire or become completely disconnected from what it actually feels like to feel desire. And not only are we disconnecting from our sexual desire, we're just connecting from all desire, all passion. And it gets to the point where we become so disconnected from it that we don't even understand what we want anymore. Because desire is hugely connected to our wants, to our needs and to our wishes. So the more we disconnect from our desire, the more we disconnect from what we truly want and how to get there. And then we can be left in our lives wondering why we don't feel passion, why, that job, that person, that success, that way of living, that whatever it is, wherever our own unique desires are, why we don't feel passion about them, why we don't feel desire about them, because one is tied into the other and we've become completely disconnected from it over time because we've been that conditioned that we don't even understand ourselves anymore. In my work, in what I do day to day as a hypnotherapist and a coach, I aim hugely with clients, amongst other things, to reconnect my clients with their desires, with that wanting and yearning for things, that deep longing that we can often become so afraid of. But the reconnection with that, feeling that again in their bodies and reconnecting with it ignites your purpose, your drive, and your willingness, because it's a motivator. It's your willingness to go after those things. And when we're not feeling it anymore, or when it's not showing up in our lives, when we begin to reconnect with it and start feeling desire, feeling yearning, feeling passion, it also can show up our own unworthiness, our own lack. Because the minute we start feeling deep desire, deep yearning, we can also get those feelings of, oh, I don't deserve that kind of success. That's not available to me. I need to be this before I have that. I need to be slimmer, smarter, more academic, richer, all of these things before I have that thing I really want. So for me, as I say again with clients, it ignites their desire and passion, but it also shows up the spaces where they're feeling lack or unworthiness in their lives. And that's some of the things that we then work on to remove that, release them from that, and move them into that desire and passionate space again. And desire is in everything. Desire is in, how we dress ourselves, feeling fabulous, feeling good, how we treat ourselves, how we treat our bodies, how we behave. We have desires as to the way we want to behave, who we want to be. We've passion in the things that we do, how we want to show up. It's everywhere. It's innately connected also to our creative energy, because passion ignites creativity. It ignites because once we're feeling that passion and desire, we're looking for ways to create the things we want. Our mind and our brain and our being are searching for ways to create the things that we want in our lives once we've ignited that desire. As I mentioned, one of the things that stands in the way of us reconnecting with our desire is our own feeling of unworthiness or lack. We can often struggle with the unconscious belief that we're just not good enough to deserve our desires. It's easier to stay disconnected from desire, because if we don't know what it is that we truly want, that we truly desire, well, then we don't have to feel the pain of not deserving it or not having it. So we can often stay in our comfort zone. That is an absolute lie. We're never actually comfortable in our comfort zone. We're actually extremely uncomfortable, which is why we numb out. But that's a whole other podcast. But we can stay disconnected from it because we don't want to feel the pain of the things that we don't have. But we will never have those things if we don't reconnect and find out what it is that we truly want. Allow ourselves to feel it, to want it, to have it, rather than feeling that we'll never get it or it's just not available to us. Our unconscious negative beliefs but they're just not true. But because we run away from them, as I say, we dive into the comfort zone and we're numbing our brain out or stuffing down our emotions, afraid to feel our own lack. And it's the very pattern that keeps us feeling unfulfilled and unhappy. It's not the fact that you lack anything. It's the fact you won't connect to your desires and your passion that hold you where you are. It's our own patterns that keep us there. And down to even the basics, even basic sexual desire. When it comes to our sexual desires, we carry the weight and shame of so much conditioning. The roles of the male, the roles of the female, that no one wants to question, because it means we have to actually talk about it. We have to be open, we have to be vulnerable and have those conversations. And what's gas is, it's far more uncomfortable having to fake anything or have very unsatisfying sex because we don't fully understand what we want, or we know what we want and we won't ask for it because we're afraid that makes us seem promiscuous, or we're afraid of rejection, or any of these things. These are all our own lacks. For women, it's easier for women to And yet I've seen a lot with clients to believe that like even an orgasm is at the end of a rainbow only given to leprechauns and unicorns. It's not there for every woman. Your body is built for that. It's easier to shut off that side of yourself and not feel and not want an orgasm, not want to enjoy this part, not want to fulfill that innate part of yourself. And this is all connected to our aliveness, feeling alive, feeling whole. It's part of our creative energy. And sex in itself and sexual desire, it's a form of self-expression. Men, on the other hand, they lose sight of their desires and their wants because they're more conditioned to believe it's all about performance. Men have to perform to a particular standard. No one ever, really sat any of us down and talked us through these standards or these orgasms or any of these things. And because we're afraid of our own vulnerability, we're afraid to talk about what we desire or what we don't know, particularly in this space, because it carries a huge amount of shame. So men measure their manhood against their performance. And all of this is killing the actual desire, because it becomes a space that we all feel inadequate in, because no one's connected with the desire, no one really knows what to do, and no one really talks about it. So it's literally opening up and allowing yourself to desire, to have dollops of desire in the sexual space, in all the spaces in your life, and accepting that with sexual desire, we all have our moods, our emotions, our styles, things that we enjoy, things that we don't enjoy. But if we don't understand any of those, we cannot expect anyone else to understand them, because we can't even communicate them. Sex, masturbation, fantasy, we feel so wrong, bad or dirty for asking for what we want, or pulling out a few toys. We cast this part of ourselves, this side of our desires, this side of our expressions aside, and then we wonder why we feel unfulfilled. All of these things, fantasy, masturbation, sex, all of these things are part of our innate needs. They're a part of our wants, our wishes, our desires. So it's in exploring these spaces and exploring your desires in all aspects of your life that gives you that amazing wholeness and gives you those wonderful feelings of desire that you then want more of in your life, in other aspects of your life. So it's looking across the board, and whatever lights you up and tickles your fancy, creates a party in your pants. I love that one. I just wanted to say that because I love that one. Is your desires. And it's not harming yourself, it's allowing yourself to have them. It's part of who you are. And it's also your space to play, explore, communicate with your body, get to know your body, listen to your body, understand it, rather than the image you've created that you should have and should do, or the things you won't communicate. It reconnects you. I mean, like, imagine how different your life would be if you could just allow yourself to have an orgasm every day, or allow yourself to have a beautiful fantasy that lit up that amazing desire feeling just in your body, that just had you feeling just desire, reconnecting with that and feeling that fire burning in your system. Imagine how different your day would be. Imagine your mindset, your thought process, your emotions, the feeling in your body, because that's where we feel our emotions, and that's where it starts for us. We are taught, like, from so young by society that, like, we're insignificant, that how we feel and what we want don't matter. We're all part of the giant cog. We've all to conform. That we start to believe it over time. And our desires are our unique expression of who we are. Whether that's in art, writing, caring for children, being a mother, being a father, being a cyclist, whatever that is, they're your unique desires. And we have them in all aspects of our life. And it's allowing ourselves to feel it, because they're the restraints that we put on ourselves. That desire is bad or wrong, or that we don't deserve them, we lack. So it's looking at how we walk ourselves from being disconnected from what we want to how we relight that fire, relight that passion, reignite those orgasms, reignite that art, that dance, that playfulness, that joy that we had as children, that we've moved so far away from because, as I say, between society, conditioning, and jumping on the hamster wheel of life and getting caught up in the day to day, telling ourselves we're too busy to make ourselves a priority. We're too busy to do those things for ourselves. We're too busy to meditate and reconnect. We're too busy to have an orgasm. We're too busy to draw a picture. We're too busy to dance while you're in the shower, sing while you're in the shower. Too busy to look in the mirror and find the parts of yourself that you find beautiful. These are the things that we need to be going back to. And these are the things that are already in there that we have disconnected from. So the first thing that we need to do is reconnect with our own desire. Start feeling what desire feels like in our body. Understanding that drives, as I say, our passion, our willingness, our motivation. What would your life be like if you had more passion, more willingness, more motivation? Like, you're absolutely limitless. It's the limits we put on ourselves. It's the choices that we have in how we can feel that will change our lives. Because success, riches, sex, music, whatever it is, all of these we seek to add to shift and change how we feel. So if we can change how we feel from the inside out by connecting to the beautiful emotions we have, the beautiful feelings, like desire, like sitting and meditating and focusing just on desire, like creating a fantasy in your head, be it a sexual fantasy, a fantasy of what you want to look like, what you want to feel like, how you want to be living, doing some future pacing and looking at when you have everything you desire, what will your life look like? What will you be doing? How will you be living? How will you be feeling each day? And from there you can paint a picture of what your desires are. And once you're feeling that desire, that ignites your passion and your willingness. But it starts with reconnecting with your desire within. And again, as I said, letting go of and recognizing our past conditioning that moved us away from it, that made us feel selfish, bad, dirty, wrong, all of these things for having desire. Nothing on this planet would have been created that we've done if it wasn't for someone's desire. We wouldn't have planes in the sky if someone didn't decide that they wanted to create a way to fly. We wouldn't have a car, wheels on a car, music, podcasts, ta-da, stone-built homes, canals, it's vast. I can go on for ages. All of these things, we would not have any technology, any of the amazing things that were created that we use daily, internet, Wi-Fi, clothes, Doc Martens, if it wasn't for someone's desire to create, to build. This is where a creative energy lies. This is what we really want to reconnect to in all aspects across our lives, to create and design whatever it is that we want, to feel in our lives the way we want to feel. It all begins within. Quote unquote, happiness is an inside job. So So that's it for me for this week, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it and got some fabulous takeaways. And as always, I invite you to connect in with me across social media, or check me out on my website, www.yourgifttoyou.com, or email me, linda@yourgifttoyou.com, guys, because I'd love to hear from you and any topics you'd like for us to talk about or any more learnings that you want. And please remember, give me those reviews because it keeps the podcast getting out there to more people. So chat to you very soon, guys. Bye bye.